I know you like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. You like the sound of that. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Turkey Al Sheikh, aka Aladdin, aka talking about during the press conference today of Edgar Berlanga versus Shiraz, William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. He said, I have big news for you motherfuckers. I have a big matchup in a big event later than August or October. Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Yes, I will supply a great matchup. This fight may be not the fight that everybody is asking for, but this is the most important fight for the black community. Because this the great black Hulk needs to beat the crap out of this racist motherfucker. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, look. Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron Boots Ennis is a great matchup. And let me give you a little bit of a backstory. I just knew the boxing. 2015, Jaron Boots Ennis was the Golden Glove national winner out there in Reno, and Teofimo Lopez was the 2015 Golden Glove national winner in the lightweight division. So these guys, if you know, we've been talking about a lot of Teo versus Haney, and Haney versus Tank, and Teo, Tank, and Teo, Ryan, and Tank, and Ryan, and Shakur. In all actuality, see, Jaron Boots Ennis was supposed to be in the mix, but the thing is, Jaron Boots Ennis, was a late bloomer in getting some titles, right? You know, Shakur Stevenson is already a 3-division world champion. Teofimo Lopez, a 2-division lineal champion. Devin the Dream Haney, 2-division champion. Gervonta Tank Davis, who's actually older than all of them, a 2-division world champion, we could say. Who else? You know, and Ryan Garcia hasn't won a world title as well. We got to put also Gary Antoine Russell, who was the kryptonite to Jaron Boots Ennis in the amateurs. But Jaron Boots Ennis have a lot of respect for Teo, and Teo have a lot of respect for Jaron Boots Ennis. If you know, if you ever heard them talk about one another and their teams, you know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez Sr. have tremendous respect of Bozy, the father of Jaron Boots Ennis. So I don't think you're going to hear a lot of tripping going back and forth, but for the people out there that be like, come on, man, but I want Jaron Boots Ennis to go fight Brian Norman Jr. for a unification bout, or Mario Barrios, but Mario Barrios is going to be facing Manny Pacquiao, the 8th division world champion, 5-time lineal, 12-time world champion, the ambassador, the senator, the humanitarian, the greatest karaoke singer of them all, the GOAT, Manny Pacquiao, right? So he's going to be unavailable. Brian Norman Jr. going to go to Japan. He's unavailable. But Teofimo Lopez, who just performed in May 2nd, who had the best performance in Times Square, great performance versus Arnold Barbosa, undefeated fighter at the time, and Jaron Boots Ennis, made a statement, beating Stanionis, unifying the titles, winning it for the first time, you know what I'm saying, because he got elevated as the IBF world title, and he always explained that he wanted to feel like he actually won, right? And he's the Ring Magazine lineal champion in the welterweight division. Teofimo Lopez is the lineal champion in the junior welterweight division. So look, they have been in this since they was younger. 10 years ago, they had been in the same lane. The stars have aligned itself. And for those who don't think that this fight is good, it's necessary. It's necessary because in this community, a lot of people been painting Teofimo Lopez as a massa or something, you know what I'm saying? Or the massa, the racist and stuff like that. And back in the days, you know how boxing is, it's divided and stuff like that, and nations and race and stuff like that. You know how they always say it, Mexican versus Puerto Rico is a tradition, a traditional rivalry, you know what I'm saying? Black and white, you know what I'm saying? That creates a nice buzz, or a black and Mexican that creates a buzz, the Mexicutioner and stuff like that. The Great White Hope. The Great White Hope. Rocky Marciano. Yes, but what about the Great Black Hope? Jaron Boots Ennis could be the Great Black Hope if he fights Teofimo Lopez and defeats Teofimo Lopez. Now that's gonna be tough because at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez, he rise to the occasions. I gotta keep the same energy, keep the same assessment. A lot of people always say, well, Teofimo Lopez, he performs to the level of his competition. Well, if we believe that Jaron Boots Ennis It's high competition, and especially in the welterweight division, in which I believe that he is the best welterweight division. As a matter of fact, if y'all been following the channel for quite some time, I've been saying that Jaron Boost Ennis is the second coming to Roy Jones Jr. If you've been following Punch Drunk Boxing, and Jaron Boost Ennis knows and his team knows, who was the first YouTuber that was doing a bunch of interviews and talking about him? I remember people was coming to my channel and saying, yo, who is this guy? I'm Punch. You always premature, you know, be hyping fighters up. Oh, go check the archives. 6 years ago, yeah. That Jaron Boost Ennis was going to make people run out of the division. Look what he at right now. Everybody moved to the 154-pound division or they retired. So I know how special Jaron Boost Ennis is, and I know how special Teofimo Lopez is, in which I said that Teofimo Lopez was going to be the captain of the generation, the commander-in-chief. Remember when I said that? So, hey, I know my boxing. And I believe that Teofimo Lopez and Jaron Boost Ennis are the two most dynamic, electric, athletic, gifted fighters. They do things in the ring that you don't teach. They do things in the ring that you don't teach. If you think about two fighters that really like, you know what I'm saying, that showmanship that's missing in the sport of boxing. You got Jaron Boost Ennis, you got Teofimo Lopez. Both you see the drunken master style of Teofimo Lopez. I like Ben Whitaker, but I want Ben Whitaker to go back to fighting, having fun. Y'all already know how the UK people is trying to always criticize the way that he was trying to perform and stuff like that. But Ben Whitaker as well is one of the most electric and showmanship, you know what I'm saying? Bling, flair, electricity, fun in the ring. Now, we all know that Teofimo Lopez has been a controversial figure in the sport of boxing. A lot of things that he said have rubbed people along the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, people have been frustrated with Teofimo Lopez, racial undertones in the past. Of course, you know, when they asked him about Bud Crawford or Javante Tank Davis, who you want to fight, he said whichever monkey want to eat the banana. What else? Acting like he sent the fruit basket, the banana basket to Keyshawn Davis and stuff like that. People trying to go after him and his dad because he's using the N-word, but they Latinos from New York City. Everybody use the N-word, but we understand what he's talking about. Where the liquor at? But outside of that, if you speak to anybody in the sport of boxing that knows Teofimo Lopez personally and stuff like that, you know, this is the way he feels he needs to promote himself, but also rubbing people the wrong way. Again, maybe he's promoting to be a heel or the villain. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of people that trash talk in the past. That's the way they promote themselves. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they fall flat in their face, like Adrian Broner. But look at the blueprint or the green print of Floyd Mayweather, villain, right? Or the heel, the guy that people hated, the guy he used to talk a lot of crap. Muhammad Ali, the same way. So there's a blueprint in it, and maybe Teofimo Lopez is just following a lucrative blueprint. And maybe right now people are not going to feel for it or understand it, but maybe when they retire, just like Muhammad Ali and just like Floyd Mayweather, you'd be like, damn, they was really that great. Damn, I actually miss these guys in the ring. Understand? So, but if those that's taking it to the heart, and there should be a black fighter out there that's going to shut Teofimo Lopez up, who better than Jaron Boost Ennis? Javante Tank Davis is going to be facing Lamont Roach. Devin Haney probably going to secure, like Turkey Out Shake, probably going to secure the fight with Ryan Garcia, the rematch. So that's going to be unavailable. And Shakur Stevens is going to fight William Cepeda and stuff like that. Keyshawn Davis is going to be fighting Edo de los Santos. So everybody is occupied but Teofimo Lopez and Jaron Boost Ennis. That's the biggest name of Jaron Boost Ennis. I don't think that Jaron Boost Ennis has nothing near a resume like a Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez has the best resume of his contemporaries, of his age group. He's accomplished more. He's beaten better fighters. He's been on the pound for pound list. He's beaten pound for pound fighters, 2 pound for pound fighters, and Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. And you know that Teofimo Lopez, when the brightest is light, that's when he performs. So you got to keep the same energy. If you believe that Teofimo Lopez performs to the level of his competition, well, guess what? How you think he's going to perform for Jaron Boost Ennis? But you may be mad at Teofimo Lopez now. You want somebody to beat him up because the thing that he's been saying. Well, Jaron Boost Ennis is the guy. Is the guy to challenge and test and beat all those negative things and controversial things out of Teofimo Lopez. Is he the guy? But if he's not the guy, or which guy you're looking for, he's the best available black fighter. Now, of course, I always say that God first, everything second. Fight plus survive equal true champions. We're one race, the human race. But it's boxing. And I don't think that people just would allow to everybody to unite and things of that nature, and don't look at colors or don't look at race or don't look at language or whatever. It is what it is. Why do you think people hating now he ain't no Uwe in America? Because he's getting a lot of praise, or maybe because he's not? You know there's haters out there. If he was another ethnicity, that ethnicity wouldn't be dissing now he ain't no Uwe. We know what we're talking about. But anyway, if there's going to be a lot of people that feel like, yo, Teo is this, Teo is that, then Jaron Ennis is the guy to step up to the plate and fight Teofimo Lopez. Everybody wins. Boxing wins. They win. Lineal versus lineal at the end of the day is lineal versus lineal. Prime versus prime. One guy daring to be great, Teofimo Lopez, and once again, he'll be the underdog. And Teofimo Lopez as the underdog has been 2-0. Could be 3-0. Let me know who you got. Break it down. He's going to be the underdog. Boots is going to be the favorite. But we all know how Teofimo Lopez performed when he's the underdog. Let me know who's your pick. This is Punch on Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. Love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.